So this season, our offense is going up the right through Kuhn, the German winger. He has been probably the player of Scotland. I was going to say Celtic, but I think he's been the best player in Scotland in these first 3 weeks. Only 3 games in, but also pre-season. So today, 1 goal, 1 assist, and also his through ball to Rio to get him to the byline for that cutback for Idah. I think that's called a hockey assist. It was pinpoint ball. A second later, Rio would have been offside. So also great run by Hitate, great shot by Dyson Idah, set up by Kuhn. In the last game, another goal, and it was his assist to Kalmak. And in the first game, another goal. And he was one of the key points in pushing the ball forward. So, in good news, we've actually got some drive forward. I think this was his main downfall last season. He wasn't pushing the ball and being as aggressive. Now he is. So let's hope that can continue through the whole season. Let's get on to the game. Hibs. Good news is they looked a little bit better. I don't know if they could have looked any worse, but they actually seemed to play a little bit more as a team. They looked like they actually wanted to play. They didn't look like they had never played a game of football before, which was good. Got 2 shots on target. One of them went in, so that's 2 shots more on target than they did last week. So their manager gets to keep his job for at least another couple of weeks. And they've still got Kuhn to come into the team, which should be a good upgrade in their midfield. Now let's get to Celtic's lineup. A few little surprises. I know a lot of people were thinking there was going to be a lot of changes because it's going to be a cup game. I was not one of those people. I listened to Brendan Rodgers when he said he didn't want a lot of changes at the start. He wanted to build continuity. But a lot less changes than I was expecting in a cup game. So we had Idah playing striker because Kyogo and Johnson both got injured last game. And I know Idah had just come back, but apparently, according to Brendan Rodgers, wasn't up to game fitness, and you could kind of see that when he came on. I think having half an hour to start off with was good for him when we're already up. Looked a little bit rusty, needs to get back up to game speed. So having a couple of games coming off the bench probably won't hurt him. Johnson started on the right. I think almost every single lineup prediction I saw had Ralston starting. He had been coming off the bench, he's been playing well, thought this was the game to rest Johnson, and instead of starting Ralston and resting Johnson, Brendan Rodgers decided we're not even going to bother resting Johnson, and he played the whole game. So weren't we all wrong? Why not? One disappointing thing about the lineup for me was no Anderson. Now, I'm hoping not having Anderson on the bench means Brendan has some plan for left back, because Taylor played the whole game again. I thought this was a good opportunity for Anderson to come in and actually get some time with the first team. He looked really good in pre-season. But no, also Taylor is out of contract. So there must be a plan at left back. Someone's coming in that we just don't know about. So hopefully that will pop up in the next week or two. If not, I don't know what Brendan's doing. Speaking of Taylor, played really well. I think he's been one of our top 3 players this season. He's really playing for a new contract, I think. He's stepped up, doing really well. Helped by Kalmak. Kalmak has been awesome. Today he was phenomenal. He's playing like he knows he's got rest now, that he's not in the Scotland squad. But also he's the one that's kind of covering on defense when Taylor's going forward. So it's letting Taylor play more of his game, and Taylor's doing phenomenally. I think he's playing great, and I think that's being helped by Cal Mack. It's just doing all those little things that you don't really notice, but yeah, Cal Mack, fantastic season. Don't mean to go through every player, but let's get to Idah. He comes in, plays a position where a lot of people say, oh, he can't play. Excuse that. Should have put that on silent. After the game, Brendan Rodgers was like, I don't know why people say he can't play striker. Like, he's played there for him a couple of times now and scored 5 goals, and he was a striker for the Japanese national team. So I think he's silenced the critics, and he's shown that he can score when the ball's between the posts. He's been struggling a little bit from the wing, but put him at striker, and he seems to know where the goals are. Also, his effort in that third goal, Kuhn's goal, chasing down the defender, stealing the ball off him, and the awareness from Kuhn to, I think he saw what was about to happen before everyone else to make that break. Gets the ball, Idah gets the ball, well, he forces the turnover, he doesn't get the ball, but he forces the mistake from the defender. Kuhn chases it down, seals the game for the 3rd point. Just amazing effort by Kuhn, and especially for Idah, just up front, heavy press. One player I'm normally harsh on, Scales, he actually played really well. I couldn't fault him at all in this game. Normally there's a couple of, like, he'll play okay, and then there'll be a couple of little moments where you're like, what the hell are you doing? This could cost us. But I don't remember seeing anything like that today. I thought he was solid. So was everyone, actually. Hitate had a decent game. If I'm going to pick on one little slip up, it's going to be Hitate's defending for CCV's free kick that he gave away, where we gave away the goal. So Hitate, I think, was marking Kukaradjic, or whatever his name is. Hitate was the one that played him onside, but then as soon as he's played him onside, he's dropped off and faded away from him, just giving him a wide open header and shot at goal. And, like, good on the guy. It was a phenomenal header. Like, Schmeichel had no chance. But yeah, Rio, like, just kind of got lost in no man's land. I think that's the only negative I've got about today's game. I mean, last week it was the second half. We just kind of took our foot off the accelerator, and passing kind of went a little bit askew, and we didn't play as well. Today, even though Hibs played better, so did we, and we didn't have that drop off. Not as much in the second half, and even their second half subs played well. Speaking of second half subs, Idah was the only one come on the 60th minute, which I wasn't surprised, because I thought he'd want him to get the cheer of being back for his first game and first game back at Celtic Park. But I thought more changes were coming soon. There wasn't. Yang came on ahead of Palma, which surprised me. I thought Yang would have been down the pecking order. He played okay. He didn't suck, which is good. He wasn't phenomenal. Had a couple of good passes, a couple of good runs. So hopefully he is back on that uptrend. I would like him to go out on loan to get a little bit more game time, and bring in someone maybe a little bit, let's use the word quality, because why not? It gets thrown around a lot. But he came on, he did a job, he was decent. One thing about the subs though is we only made 4. We can make 5. It's a cup game. We're up 3-1. I was a little bit surprised that we didn't use all of our subs, and the last 2 subs only came on in the last 10 minutes, within the last 10 minutes. So, like, when Brendan said he really wanted to play the same sort of players for the first couple of games, or the first bit of the season, he wasn't lying. Not a lot of game time for our bench players. But Bernardo looked phenomenal. I would really like to see Bernardo get a start in a game sometime soon, just to see how he plays alongside either Matt O'Reilly or Rio Tati or whatever's going on. But I would like to see him get a start in some game, especially if Matt O'Reilly is going. But I done a video thinking we'd never seen him again, or this would be his last game, and he plays the whole game. So rumours are Atalanta have decided not to go for a 6 bid. Apparently they're done, they're out of it, they've moved on. Who knows if that's true or not. They might end up coming back and go, screw it, throw a couple million extra on. But at this point, they're out. I don't even know who's left in. What, Brighton? Is that it? Like, fingers crossed, Matt Riley's going nowhere. That would be great. So that's pretty much my thoughts on the game. Not really a lot. Like, we played great. Everyone played really well. We're through to the next round. We had a packed out stadium. No one stole any drums afterwards. Fantastic. Well, I'll probably be back sometime this week for another video. See what's going on, catch up on whatever's happening in the trade, any rumours. I've now managed to upload the videos a lot faster because I've sorted out my crap. So subscribe so you can see when I bring more videos out. And I'll see you then.